Good day, everyone. For Telesur, I'm Cody Weddle in Caracas, Venezuela. We start today in Mexico, where more cases of abductions and disappearances have emerged in the state of Guerrero. The governor of Guerrero State, Roberto Ortega, has confirmed that 30 other youth were abducted. The governor says that the young people disappeared in July of last year. French TV channel France 24 reports that witnesses of the abductions describe heavily armed men in dark blue uniforms kidnapping the youth. The revelations come as authorities in Guerrero State are accused of orchestrating with organized crime groups the disappearance of 43 students more than 2 months ago. The new cases of disappeared youth were disclosed following a highly anticipated announcement by Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto. In the address, he outlined a series of police reforms in the country. The 10-point plan will be sent to the Mexican Congress on Monday. It includes greater federal control of local law enforcement. Many activists, though, see the measures as too little, too late. They criticize all levels of Mexican government for the tens of thousands who have disappeared in the country over the past decade. And for more now on the developing situation in Mexico and the criminalization of protests, we go to our correspondent Clayton Kahn.
Here in front of the National Commission of Human Rights, family and friends of 11 detained protesters demand their release. For one mother, her daughter's only crime is to have a social conscience.
They go out and protest the things they don't like, but that doesn't mean that they are criminals. I'm not saying this just for my daughter, but for all the youths who have recently gone out into the streets.
For Edith Rojas, mother of Tanya, who was detained with dozens of others in a mass protest in solidarity with Ayotzinapa on November 20th, her daughter is being used as an example.
The
government is using our children as an example so that other protesters bring it down a notch.
Sharp clashes occurred between police and protesters on the November 20th march. While human rights organizations call the arrests arbitrary, the authorities claim the protesters seek to undermine peaceful protest for other means.
Destabilizing, creating social disorder, and above all, attacking the nation's project that we have been working on.
Yet the family of the 11 arrested say their intentions to participate in protests is to construct a better Mexico, claiming the authorities those responsible for destabilization. Clayton Kahn, Telesur, Mexico City.
Thanks to Clayton. We turn to Colombia now, where it appears increasingly likely that peace talks to end the country's civil war will resume. FARC leadership has confirmed that they will release Colombian General Rubén Darío Alzate and 2 others who were detained by the guerrillas earlier this month. The liberation of the captives follows the release of 2 Colombian army soldiers on Tuesday. President Juan Manuel Santos says that the moves by the rebels represents an important step towards resuming the stalled dialogue. Talks had been taking place between the guerrillas and the Colombian government for the past 2 years in Havana, Cuba. We go now to Bolivia, where President Evo Morales is set to inaugurate a G77 plus China meeting with industry and energy ministers. The event is taking place in the city of Tajira and will discuss the nationalization of key industries, the control and management of natural resources, and the industrialization of the nations which make up the G77 bloc. And in Uruguay, citizens are preparing for this weekend's final presidential elections. Tabaré Vázquez from the leftist Broad Front Party will go up against National Party's Luis Lacalle. Vázquez won the first round of elections in October with just under 48% of the vote. According to the most recent polls available, the Broad Front candidate holds a comfortable lead over his competitor. Vázquez comes from the same party as outgoing President José Mujica, who was successful in implementing a number of progressive policies in South America. That includes the decriminalization of abortion, the legalization of marijuana, among others. And taking a closer look now at the candidates in this Sunday's elections, Tabaré Vázquez is from the capital, Montevideo, and graduated from the Faculty of Medicine at Uruguay's University of the Republic. After beginning his political career with the Socialist Party in 1983, he was elected president of Uruguay as a member of the Broad Front Party in March 2005. When he left office in 2010, he held a 70% approval rating. His time in office is considered historic as the Broad Front's win broke the two-party system, which had dominated Uruguay since 1830. And we'll take a look at the National Party candidate now, Luis Lacalle. Lacalle was runner-up in October's first round of presidential elections, capturing 30% of the vote. A lawyer by profession, Lacalle is the son of former Uruguayan President Luis Alberto Lacalle, an ardent anti-socialist. The younger Lacalle has served 3 terms as a Uruguayan congressman. After having admitted to using both marijuana and cocaine when his father was president, he has defended the legalization of marijuana for personal use. We turn now to Honduras, where the security minister there has announced that within 3 months, a new strategy will begin to make public transport safer in the country. As our correspondent Gerardo Torres reports, many Hondurans hope it doesn't become another false promise.
Last week, Honduran public transport drivers decided to go on strike because of the insecurity they face on a daily basis. The government asked for them to delay the strike and promised a new security strategy on public buses.
We started yesterday. We picked the first route that will receive the technology. The buses will have GPS and a panic button. And we hope that in 3 or 4 months, the whole of public transportation will have these security technologies.
This year alone, almost 60 bus drivers have been murdered in Honduras, most of them while working during the daytime and in busy sectors of the city with strong presence of police and military.
Sometimes there are a lot of thieves and people don't even want to go on the buses because there's a lot of crime. There are robberies that take place on the buses. There's no security. With security, we would be a lot calmer.
So far, the security minister hasn't set the cost of the new strategy. Public transport workers have removed their threats of a general strike, but they have said that they won't allow one more murder. Gerardo Torres, Telesur, Central America.
Thanks to Gerardo. Taking a look at world news now, we go to the U.S., where the annual capitalist bonanza Black Friday is taking place. But it seems that this year some shoppers may have paused for thought. Many activists and celebrities are calling for a boycott as part of the nationwide unrest sparked by events in Ferguson, Missouri. Protests over the grand jury decision not to indict the police officer who killed the unarmed black teenager Michael Brown have influenced some of the anti-Black Friday rhetoric. Hashtags such as Blackout Black Friday and Hands Up Don't Spend reference slogans used by people outraged by police racism. And finally, staying on the topic of racial discrimination in the United States, we take a look at a documentary about Mumia Abu-Jamal that will air on Telesur this Saturday. Born as Wesley Cook in Philadelphia in the 1950s, journalist and political activist Mumia Abu-Jamal has been on death row since 1982 for allegedly killing white police officer Daniel Faulkner. As a member of the Black Panthers, Abu-Jamal had criticized the Philadelphia Police Department for its discrimination. His case has seen huge campaigns demanding his release both in the U.S. and abroad. The documentary about his case is directed by Steven Vittoria. As always, we have plenty more on those stories and others at our website, telesurtv.net/English for Telesur English. I'm Cody Weddle. Have a great Friday.